Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Fundamentalist channel. This is episode 6 of Journey to Financial Freedom, and today we're going to go over my portfolio as well as some news with what's going on in the market. If you haven't yet, make sure to go check us out and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are very active on there, posting many different things, stock events, news articles, multiple times a day. As always, I am not offering investment advice. This is just an explanation of why I'm making my own personal decisions and sharing my public portfolio. You guys should always be making your own investment advice when buying stocks. Let's take a look at the public portfolio. In the previous episode of this series, the portfolio was sitting at $6,700 and currently it is sitting at $8,600. So we're up quite a bit. For those of you that do follow us on Twitter, you know I put out a tweet showing that it had cracked $9,000, which was amazing because I've only put in around $3,000 to this portfolio in total. This week, I was able to get around $200 of cash into the portfolio, which I used to add to my positions of Deep Yellow as well as Kraken Robotics Inc. I have done a review for all the companies in my portfolio excluding Deep Yellow. I don't think I'll be doing a full-on review of Deep Yellow as we have tons of videos on uranium on our YouTube channel. Deep Yellow is an Australian uranium exploration company with operations in Namibia. They have an excellent management team and have been on to some significant findings which could be positive for the company. VVPR and SOL have both been driving the growth for this portfolio, although SOL did pull back on some news which we'll get into later on in this episode. VivoPower has officially made me 100% return on my investment. Taking a look at the chart for VivoPower, we can see that on Monday, the stock spiked to 1822, which was highs we haven't seen for quite a while. Driving this increase in stock price was an announcement from the company's 51% owned subsidiary Tembo EV 4x4, which if you recall in my VivoPower review video, I had mentioned that some significant or positive news from this subsidiary would cause an increase in the stock price. VivoPower had announced that they signed a $250 million agreement for distribution within Australia with GB Auto. The company has called this the most valuable EV deal in Australia to date. And in this agreement, GB Auto has committed to purchasing 500 Tembo conversion kits for a 7-year term, as well as a minimum of 2,000 kits in the first year. This is an excellent announcement for the company, and more announcements like this, whether it be for their critical power, solar, or EV operations, will be positive for the company and will without a doubt see an increase in stock price from this. Regardless of the fact that the announcement spans 7 years, this $250 million agreement is huge as VivoPower's market cap is currently sitting at $272 million. So if they are able to get more contracts with more customers, then this will be huge, allowing them to be a bigger force in the EV industry. We also have some news from ReneSola this week to talk about. This stock was on a tear throughout the previous 5 days, reaching a 52-week high of 35.77 before eventually pulling back due to the announcement of an equity offering. On Monday, ReneSola had announced that they were raising $250 million through a direct ADS offering. At a share price of $25 per ADS, this added 10 million shares to those that are currently outstanding. So as expected, the stock price for SOL did pull back to actually above $25 and it has since gone up to $28 per share. I'm fine with this offering as although it does offer some dilution, there was a good reason for it. The company was able to get some cash at a very attractive share price for them. If we look at the 1-month chart here, we can see that a month ago the stock was trading around $10 to $12 and since then it's nearly tripled to a high of nearly $36. And then taking a look at the 6-month stock chart, we could see that it was trading at just a couple dollars for the longest time before the recent run-up. So I think it was a smart choice for management to issue these shares as they could use the cash to increase their growth and expand their operations. I do have another announcement for the YouTube portfolio. I am looking to take a position in a penny stock. I can give you a hint that there was a video made about this penny stock in this channel, so if you go, I'm sure you will be able to find it. I'm just getting the trading permission sorted out with my broker to acquire around a $200 position in this penny stock. Let's take a look at something very interesting that I saw happening in the market, and that has to do with the GameStop stock. Taking a look at the 5-year chart here, we can see that something crazy happened recently, and I'm sure most of you have seen it, but for those of you that haven't, we'll go into a quick explanation of what happened. As we all know, GameStop is an American company that sells video games. They usually do it through their online store or their brick and mortar stores, which I'm sure many of you have been to if you have purchased any video games. And we can tell by the chart that for the longest time, this stock was not doing too well. Revenues were going down. We know that things are starting to move more to online retail shops. So GameStop was not doing too well as expected until early January, where this stock started to take a run up. So what happened to GameStop stock? As mentioned, the company was not doing too well and the stock was starting to get beat down. The general sentiment was that the company was not going to do too well and the stock price was going to fall. So there were a lot of investors shorting this stock. Short interest for the stock had reached around 140% of the current float, as the sentiment surrounding where the price was headed was pretty bearish at the time. Early in January, when the stock first started to take a run, we know that the activist investor and Chewy Inc. co-founder Ryan Cohen had joined the board, and he also took a very large, around 9 million share position in the company. At this time, the rally had also been fueled by the subreddit WallStreetBets, which I'm sure many of you have been on, and you know there's some pretty crazy ideas on there, which is pretty funny. So they had pumped up the shares at the time, which caused all these shorts who had the huge short interest of 140% to have to cover their positions, causing the stock price to go up significantly in just a few days due to the shorts being forced to cover their positions. This short squeeze caused the stock to go parabolic, and it is one of the biggest squeezes we have seen in the history of the market. I have to admit this was a very hilarious event, and it was even better to find out that Andrew Left was one of the shorts, as he has continued to bash some of my large holdings within my tax-free portfolios. I think this is just another epic example of the current market we find ourselves in, where things can be really wacky and we'll see these huge swings in one days. This instantaneous access to information has caused the market to be extremely volatile, and we can see huge swings in either direction per day. Short sellers actually lost big time on this, with one of the hedge funds needing to come in and boost Melvin Capital, who had a short position in this, injecting nearly 3 billion into the firm after losing 30% this year. So this just goes to show that even the big guys aren't safe from major losses. Personally, I think that in the future we will see GameStop stock reduced significantly, as this was just the result of a short squeeze and a lot of buying going on within the market. At the end of the day, there wasn't really a fundamental change to GameStop's operation. It was just with this short squeeze, we saw the stock price rise significantly in a short period of time. So I am predicting a significant pullback, although you can't really say for sure in this market. Well, that does it for this video, guys. If you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you as always, and until next time, this is my journey to financial freedom.